Dress rehearsal. Here we go. Tampa at home against the Lions. Game's on national TV tonight. Tampa's 344 the total. Money for the under. Tampa has injuries to the offensive line. 56 points. 56 points so far in the preseason. Offense has been terrific. And disaster for Detroit so far. Listless performance on offense. They haven't done a nice job. And what are you reading on what Patricia's saying, how he's going to treat this?
Sure. Well, Patricia's talking about this week as being super important. And, you know, given the way the Lions have looked the first 2 weeks, where they've been pushed around on the line of scrimmage, where their offense has really done very, very little. What's Matthew Stafford got? Like 3 completions so far this preseason. Hasn't been much for Detroit. Matt Patricia, quote, "It's definitely a different week than what we've been in. It's a total transformation of mindset. But you also still want to stay in good training camp mode, take advantage of meeting time, and still put the pressure on our team to develop. There's certain areas that, regardless of who we're playing this week, we kind of need to improve on and get better, especially situationally. So we'll try to do a mix of both, but still really try to get the team in regular season mode." Now, the thought process for Detroit, Stafford's going to go out. He's played 3 series so far in the preseason. He expects to play, quote, "go out there and play at a high level, execute well. Obviously, you'd love to go down and get points and play some really good football. We're going to go out there and just try to play the way we've been practicing and execute our offense, play clean football, limit our penalties, all that stuff." So, I mean, Detroit's talking the talk. They haven't played well. Tampa, to me, is a vulnerable favorite tonight. Certainly, you talked about the offensive line issues. That a major concern.
Yep. On Wednesday, 4 of the top 6 offensive tackles were missing. And Dirk Cutter, quote, "Unfortunately, depth at tackles our biggest issue right now. I think as of today, we had 4 of our top 6 offensive tackles who didn't practice. So, yeah, let us see a lot of guys, and some guys we weren't planning on left tackle. You always wish you were able to put your top guys out there all the time. Never going to be that way. We've been fortunate enough what we had in camp is going to be too long-lasting on maybe in our starting players. But again, 56 points scored in the first preseason games. Do you think that'll continue?"
Well, the interesting thing is that it's not Cutter calling the plays. It's Todd Monken calling the plays for Tampa. I mean, you know, he is the offensive coordinator, but it's always been Cutter who's doing the play calling. You know, Monken, I'm grateful to have the opportunity. It started in the offseason with being able to call it out here. The quarterback's hearing your voice, getting used to calling plays. Whether this continues in the regular season, another question entirely. But right now, despite the offensive woes, look, Tampa had offensive line issues last week and in week 1. They've hung 56 points in those 2 ball games. So while I lean towards the Lions here, I haven't put them in my pocket. And then it's probably going to stay in the lean category. Tampa has been able to call good plays for a weak offensive line.
All right, this is on TV on Saturday night. The Chargers at home against the Saints. Chargers 2.5, 43.5 the total. You have some great information here on Sean Payton in dress rehearsal week 3.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Sean Payton, it's good stuff. And it's worth noting. For a long time, the Saints were absolutely a bet-on team. Bet on week 3. Sean Payton took these games very seriously. And look at the offense production. 2009, they win 45-7. 2010, they win 36-21. 2011, they win 40-20. 2012, 34-27. 2013, 31-23. 2014, 23-17. Yeah, that's 6-0 straight up. 6-0 against the spread, 5-1 to the over in the week 3 regular season walkthrough. That is a history of Sean Payton caring a lot about this particular week. And that was then. This is now. When you look at the recent Saints week 3 performances, 2015, they're laying points to Arizona. They lose 27-13. 2016, they're laying points to Pittsburgh. They lose 27-14. Last year, they're laying to Houston, and they win the game 13-0. They only scored 13. That's 13, 14, 13 points in those 2 games after averaging 34 points a game over the previous 6 week 3s. The Saints and Sean Payton's regular season walkthrough, don't look at the long-term history. Look at the short-term history. It has not been very good for New Orleans.
Yeah. 2 games on national TV Sunday. Allen gets the start for the Bills. They're 1.5 at home against Cincinnati, 41.5 the total. McCarron survived that injury with the collarbone. He's back at practice. But what do you think? Can Allen win this job here week one with a good showing.
He can because no one else has won it. I don't know if they want Josh Allen to win this job, but certainly the betting markets think it's going to be a rookie QB in Buffalo. There's been money pouring in on the Bills under their season win total. Here's head coach Sean McDermott talking about starting Josh Allen against Cincinnati. Quote, "It's still sticking for the most part with our plan, our evaluation at this point. Announcing it, you're really wanting him to go through a routine of what it would really be like in a normal regular season week, dealing with potential distractions and all that goes with the quarterback position." Now, he talked about that Nathan Peterman and A.J. McCarron has already had that experience in their career. And he did say that Allen was deserving of getting the start here, which may be a hint about who might start for Buffalo week one. Quote, "Allen has certainly earned most of what we do here. He's had a good camp up to this point. This is all part of the plan and all part of the process in terms of this stage of his development."
What do you think of Cincinnati so far? Driscoll and Barkley have looked pretty good, and they moved the ball on offense, but they got O-line issues.
Yeah, Driscoll's been a monster. I mean, he's been really good so far, shockingly good in some ways. But when we talk about this Cincinnati team right now, for week 3, the offensive line is a huge issue. A new offensive line coach in Frank Pollock, and he's shuffling personnel over to the right side. And Trey Hopkins and guys are getting looks at right guard. And Bobby Hart struggled against the Cowboys. And Jake Fisher and Cedric Ojebuchi, everybody struggling up front for Cincinnati. This is a line that was problematic last year. Andy Dalton is not a QB who reacts well under pressure. The Bengals OL could be a difference maker in this Sunday showdown.
Yes, very good. That's on Fox Sunday afternoon. Sunday night on NBC, it's the Cardinals in Dallas. Arizona is now 2. 5-point move in this game. Dallas opened 3. Now Arizona's laying 2, just like that Rams game. Rams at home opened 3. Now Houston's laying 2. A total 40.5, 41 still out there as well. 5-point move. But why would Dallas play anybody? They're losing an offensive lineman, it seems, every day, Teddy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been ugly for Dallas. Zach Martin, not going to play. Travis Frederick, not going to play. They're not the only ones. And look, when the owner comes out with a quote like this, because when you don't have that front out there, the starting group, that might make you a little porous. You wouldn't want to be porous there with Dak. Dak's not playing. Zeke's not playing. Cowboys, all training camp, haven't really had their starting wideouts out there, and their starting wideouts are a little bit dicey to begin with. Their offensive line's not playing. Yeah, it merits a 5-point move. It probably merits more than a 5-point move, even at the current number, even after this type of move. I wouldn't bet Dallas with your money, Pauly. The Cowboys don't seem very interested in this ball game, and Jason Garrett certainly hasn't shown us as a bet-on coach in the month of August.
Arizona coach Steve Wilks, how much are these guys going to play? I'm not going to say. Although having said that, he expects the starters to play a while. These guys have to get used to the endurance of playing in a game, so I'm not going to set a timetable for when they're coming out. Cluster injuries on the defensive line, but also they are 2-0 straight up in the preseason, but they're fugazi. I mean, they're +7 in the turnover battle. The Saints and the Chargers handed them both games. Bradford played well when he got in there, and then Rosen played well last week against the Saints. At least they finally were able to protect them and give them a chance to throw in that win.
Yeah, fascinating matchup here when you talk about the Cowboys and their cluster injuries on the offensive line. Well, here's Arizona, and they're all banged up on the defensive line. They signed a couple of defensive tackles on Wednesday just to help them with depth here. They could get in the game this week. Alston Pierre is hurt as well. I mean, with their top 3 defensive tackles hurt, none of these are serious injuries. They're all going to be ready for opening day, but none of them are going today. When your top 3 defensive tackles are out in any ball game, that's something of a concern. But also means that if Dallas just wants to try to grind out yards on the ground and end this game quickly, the Cowboys may well have that opportunity. Worth noting, Josh Rosen, who is going to get ample playing time in this ball game. What was he? 10 of 16, 107 yards and a TD last week against the Saints. But he missed practice earlier in the week. He hit his throwing hand on a helmet, which is one of those owie kind of injuries. But from all appearances, Rosen should be good to go. Steve Wilks, our intentions are for him to play. You know, you can never get enough reps, especially when you start talking about a young rookie quarterback. Day to day, hopefully he's ready to go this weekend because those reps are valuable. From all indications, we will see Josh Rosen for a stretch against who the heck are they playing against? Dallas. Against Dallas on Sunday.
I'm with you, and that is, I agree with you. Just win the game, run the ball, get out of there.
Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the games.